Hi, my name is Abby. As you guys know, I'm with Voices of Eve Birth Ministries, and I decided to put together this video real quick, taking advantage of my husband watching the kids, honestly. And I wanted to talk about something I saw in the news recently. I'm not going to go into too many details, but I just want to kind of go over the basics of the story, and then if you want to know more details, you can ask and I'll send you a link. But I read a news article about a woman who was claiming to be a doula. It looks like she pressured her client into having a unassisted free birth, which is a birth where no medical provider is overseeing or assisting in any way of the birth. It is a choice that is I wouldn't say it's common, but several people have made it. And if you want more information on that, I can also give you more information on that. But in this particular instance, the woman acting as a doula was giving medical advice to her clients, and unfortunately she was giving bad medical advice and the baby passed away. This got me thinking, you know, it's a really scary thing to think that that could happen to you or your baby. And even if you're having a doula come with you to a hospital or to a birthing center or wherever, you want to make sure that you're hiring someone who, you know, knows what they're talking about and isn't going to give you advice that could end as badly as this story did. So I wanted to talk to you guys on how to hire a doula safely. Now, one thing you can always do is you can always ask what their qualifications are. Where did they go to school? Do they have proof that they completed their training? I have my certification right behind me, actually. All of these things should be readily available to anyone when they request them from their doula. And even if you have a doula who's not trained through a doula school, she can maybe provide other workshops or anything that she feels might be relevant. It's not uncommon for a woman to be, or a man, to be practicing as a doula without having gone through a doula specific school. I recommend doulas that have gone through a doula specific school because there's a lot of training in there that a person wouldn't get. Let's say they were an aromatherapist and a massage therapist. Those are great certifications, but that doesn't really help you in dealing specifically with a pregnant woman. It's ultimately your choice, but I would recommend that anyone you have, especially anyone you hire as a doula, to have certifications that you feel comfortable with, that make you feel secure that they know what they're talking about. But even more important than that, I cannot stress this enough, is that a doula should never be giving medical advice. Even if a doula has a certification in addition to their doula training, let's say they are like an OB nurse as well as a doula, when they are working with you, they are a doula. They are not working as a nurse. Even if they have a qualification and they were working as your doula, when they are in the role as a doula, they are not to be giving medical advice. That is completely out of scope for a doula, and even more so for a doula that does not have medical training. So when you are talking to your doula, especially even as early on as in the interview process, you know, ask them, well, what would you do if I said that I want to have an unmedicated birth? And then they start saying, well, you know, I highly recommend all my clients get an epidural. If you're saying to them, you know, I want to have some sort of medications to lessen the pain during my labor, what do you think I should do? And they said, oh, I definitely recommend that you do, you know, an epidural, or I recommend that you do the laughing gas, or whatever it is. That is out of scope. A doula should be saying, well, I will present you with your options. Here are the different kind of medications usually available at hospitals. We can discuss each one. We can discuss the benefits and the risks of each one and find out what you're most comfortable with. And a doula should also be reminding you that, you know, we're going to figure out what you're most comfortable with, and then sometimes you're going to get into the labor and it's going to be a little bit different, you know, circumstances change, you know, your desires change sometimes when you're in labor. So, you know, sometimes what we plan isn't what we're going to end up with. And so a doula should also be making you aware of that and making you firmly aware that you always have options and there's always time to discuss those options as long as your or the baby's life is not at risk. I just can't emphasize strongly enough that a doula should not be giving medical advice. And if your doula begins giving you medical advice instead of giving you options, then she is working out of scope, and you probably should either talk with her and say, you know, this is not working how you're doing this, we need to make a change, or you need to find another doula. What a doula does is extremely valuable. We can help lessen your pain. We can help shorten your labor. We can help reduce your risk for postpartum depression, which is something that is on the rise in America. And how we feel during our birth can strongly affect how we feel after our birth. So we can help you in processing those emotions and help you feel better about how everything went. I cannot urge you enough to A, get a doula, but at least look into one. You know, consider the idea, interview with one. When you are going through that process of hiring a doula, interviewing a doula, just listen with the consideration of, you know, that they are an important asset to your team, and you need to make sure that they fit with your team, fit with your provider, fit with your husband, fit with you. So yeah, I didn't want anyone to be reading this article or hearing it on the news or something and thinking, oh my gosh, doulas are bad. This is a very isolated incident. So I don't know any doulas that I have ever met online or in person who would have done what this woman had done. And mostly that's because, like, she didn't go through the training, and so she didn't really know what she was doing. But there are many doulas out there who do know what they're doing, and they can really help make your birth more likely to follow your desires. And I think that's extremely valuable. And I was really grateful for my doula, and I love doing what I do, and I love getting to see what amazing strength families have, not just the women but the fathers as well, and them working together. It's an honor to get to do, and that's why I always try to do it well, and as do many other doulas. If you have any more questions, please hit me up in the comments, send me a private message. My phone number's on my page. Call me, text me, whatever. I am always eager to answer any questions, and I hope you guys have a great day.